Welcome to the Hospital Finance Podcast, your go-to source for information and insights that can help you protect and enhance revenue at your hospital. And now, the host of the Hospital Finance Podcast, Michael Passanante.
Hi, welcome back to the Hospital Finance Podcast. This is Mike Passanante. Glad you could be with us. Today I'm joined by Bill Galinsky, who is the Vice President of Government Finance at Baylor Scott White. Welcome, Bill.
Welcome, or thank you.
So Bill is going to talk to us today about some of the things you should be looking for in the next generation of hospital finance professionals. So Bill, let me kick it off. What are financial professionals expected to do now that they weren't expected to do 20 or 30 years ago?
One, be technologically savvy. That there's technology has exploded so much in the world of finance, and not just spreadsheets either, databases and humongous amounts of data that have to be manipulated and stretched and converted and taken all different kind of ways so that we can do our jobs. And they also have to be willing to work hard, which was there 20 or 30 years ago, but you can do a lot more, partly because of the technology. You can do a lot more with less staff now too.
Yep.
So in some ways it's made our jobs easier, and in some ways it's made them tougher.
And finance is really very strategic now. I mean, not that it wasn't before, right. but you're contributing to some big decisions, and things are changing with bundled payments
bundled payments are taking off huge. We've actually got some hospitals in a couple of markets that CMS has been working on the bundled payments with. And so, it's a huge deal in finance, and we really see our role kind of changing as we try to be kind of reimbursement government finance consultants to our constituent hospitals. So we've got 25, I think, hospitals that we're directly responsible for. We provide support to other hospitals that are joint venture as well, but we're not directly responsible for the preparation of the cost reports or other things, but we do provide a lot of support to those.
You need strategic thinkers. You need problem solvers, and
excellent way to put it.
So, kind of looping off a point you made before, what kinds of technical skills are you looking for in new hires?
Definitely somebody that knows more than I do, which is not hard because some of our systems I use so infrequently that they just stopped giving me passwords. They said, because every time I'd use it, I'd have to get a new password because I would forget, or I wouldn't use it in so long the password would just expire. So it's not hard to find people that know more than I do, but they got to be willing and able to adapt, look at different technologies. It's an ever-changing world, and we've got hospitals on all sorts of different platforms. For general accounting, we had at the merger we had PeopleSoft and Lawson, and now we're all on one on Lawson. Patient accounting, Epic and Central Division, Patcom in the North, and so different technologies, and North is going to be changing, and so you have to be willing and able to adapt and learn new technologies and do it quickly.
So, kind of flipping the coin, soft skills. You have to talk. You have to talk to people in this role, right?
Yes,
so,
yes.
What do you look for?
Somebody that's going to be a good fit with the team that has met the expertise criteria. But then we're looking for somebody that is willing to work as part of a team. Somebody that is not afraid to dig in and get their arms dirty or hands dirty and make sure that the job gets done, but also personable and with a good personality that'll fit and work with the team, and so far we've got a really great team.
How about presentation skills? How does that play out?
We've got a few, some that are more comfortable than others in doing that. It is becoming more critical. A lot of the support that goes on, we have people in my group that go out to hospitals and talk to the CFOs and the presidents of the local hospitals to show them what we're doing, give them reports, get their feedback, see what else we can do for them. Mm-hmm. So,
do you find that there is a trend towards specialization in certain niche areas of finance or technology?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is. One of the things I like to say is hire them young and screw them up for regular accounting forever. Because we are in each area. Government finance, government reporting. It's kind of like tax in that there's a huge government form you got to fill out. But yeah, we've got, our group is very specialized, but within our group, we're kind of working on a concept of a directory of expertise, or a, what do we call it the other day? We had a better word for it, but just within our group that so that one person isn't always the go-to person on all topics, because that can cause burnout, and so what we're working on is developing a network of expertise, is what we call it. A network of expertise that, somebody that's familiar with this part of what we do, then that he becomes the go-to person for questions related to that topic. And so
and cross-training
too. Yes, absolutely. So we try not to be too isolated and too specific in our training and in our areas of expertise, but we are a different animal. We're not general accounting.
Yeah. So if you were to talk with a young person that's green right out of college, why do you think hospital finance would be an attractive profession for them?
Because everybody's going to need healthcare. It's not a business that's ever going to go out. And in fact, ever since I got into this business 30 years ago, there was talk of the end of cost reporting. We're not going to need it anymore. Everything's going prospective, blah, 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 blah. And it's never happened. They've taken and done different things with the information. They utilize it for rate setting and other things. So it's still a very critical job, and likely will be for a very long time.
So last question, Bill. If you were to make a recommendation to your colleagues when it comes to recruiting and retaining top talent for an organization, what would you say are important factors in that?
Definitely, it's a buzzword that sometimes sounds cliche, but work-life balance. Make sure that that's available. I almost lost an employee recently because she thought she needed better work-life balance, and come to find out the place she was intending to go is harder on staff than we are. But work-life balance, but also to develop a team atmosphere and a camaraderie. It makes the work go a whole lot easier and faster if everybody likes what they're doing and likes the people they're doing it with, and avoid the silos. We've had we just went through a merger a few years ago and had two different very different approaches to the work. One side was very team driven, the other side was very siloed, and they had their hospitals that they worked on, and that was it. They didn't work on other hospitals, and everybody had a little bit different way of doing things. So we're working on building standardization and that team environment, and I think it's going well. And it makes it easier to build a team environment when you're hiring young staff, because that's what they're looking for. That's what the millennials are looking for.
Flexibility.
Yeah, we've got some that work from home now, a couple days a week. So they do telecommuting.
And you have to get used to measuring outputs versus inputs. I think that's one of the mindset changes, right?
Yes,
that organizations are making.
Absolutely.
It's not about necessarily where you are or how many hours you put in. Even
right.
It's getting it done and getting it done well.
Get the work done, and then you can have some playtime.
Yeah, you got it. Well, let's go have some playtime. It was good. It was good talking to you here today, and Bill, I hope you're having a great show.
Likewise, yes, I am.
Thanks. Great,
yes.
Excellent. Well, thanks for spending some time with us.
All right, thank you.
All right, appreciate it.
Bye.
you enjoy the Hospital Finance Podcast, please head up to iTunes to subscribe and leave us a positive review.
This concludes today's episode of the Hospital Finance Podcast. For show notes and additional resources to help you protect and enhance revenue at your hospital, visit Bessler.com/podcasts. The Hospital Finance Podcast is a production of Bessler Consulting.